name is Marnes Nel. I'm here in Potchefstroom. I'm racing pigeons. I started when I was about 13 years old. On our farm, I stayed in a small town called Ottosdal, and I started racing pigeons there with my father, E30, and we had a partnership and raced our birds there in Ottosdal and later on in Della Club. And so, yeah, I started since that time, and I was fascinated about pigeons and how they race and how they come back and find their home. So in 2022, I had a wonderful season. My pigeon won the Super Race competition in the 2022 version of Victoria Falls World Challenge Pigeon Race. So it was just amazing. It really had a great impact on us and as a family, and yeah, I can just say that was the biggest thing in my life. Before that, I really didn't enter much into one loft races. That was the third time that I've entered a one loft race. Before that, I just raced locally, and I got the idea that I must enter into one loft races. And yeah, the third time I had this wonderful experience where my pigeon won that competition. So I'm really proud of that bird. It was a great moment in our lives. And yeah, you can't explain what goes through your mind when your bird actually wins such a big competition. My bird was ahead on points after the last hotspot, and then in the final just did enough to stay on top. So that was just wonderful. So I also entered in 2021, and the half sister of the bird that won the Super Race competition, the one that won the Super Race competition was Love 3. Now I had a team of pigeons, and it was Love 1, Love 2, Love 3, Love 4. So this was Love 3 that won the Super Race competition. But in 2021, her half sister won, came 11th in the enduro race at the 750 kilometer enduro race that they had at the end of the season. That bird was 7th on the grand averages just before the final, but slipped in the final and came about 400, a position 400 and something. And then at the next race, 750 kilometers, came 11th. So that was already a big achievement for me, for my birds. And the next year, the half-sister won the Super Race competition. This year, I also had a good final where I had two birds in the top 100, a 20th position and 89th position in the final of this year, 2023. So I really had great success in Victoria Falls. So I really love that race. Seems like my birds are doing well there. So I really love that race. And yeah, it was a special occasion because this year I was there when the birds came back from the final. It was a great experience. The bird that actually came 20th again was the sister of the Super Race winner, the full sister, the nestmate sister actually of the Super Race winner. It was her daughter that came 20th this year in the final. So I'm very excited for the performance of those birds at Victoria Falls. Okay, so the Super Race winner, Love 3, was bred as follows. I got a cock from Jaco Graham. It's a friend of mine, and he lives in Koster. And we normally bred pigeons for one another, and he bred me that bird. And so it's the father of the Super Race winner. And that bird was my second best bird, but it was also the second best pigeon in the union. So he came second on points in our union. The only bird that did better was the grandfather on the mother's side of the Super Race winner. He was first in the points in our union. So it was basically the father was one of my best racers, and the grandfather was one of my best racers. The grandfather 2443, 2016 WPU, I think it's D or WPU, but 2443, he won the union twice, as a year old and as in the open section as well, the next year. And then I took him to stock and I bred, and his first daughter was 2420. And she won also, was also the young bird with the most points in the union. So my Super Race winner was bred out of the best racers that I have, but it also won locally here in our club and union. So I can say the line, there's some different bloodlines into the bird, but what I can say is that it was bred out of my best racers, putting the best with the best for a few years. Like I said before, I did not think that I will race one loft races, so I just bred locally, and yeah, so that's the breeding of the bird. Victoria Falls Pigeon Race is really special to me. For me, it's really like the people there, the organizers, and Jeff Armand and his family, they are really special. So I've been racing in Ottosdal Club when I was at school, and then at the Rival Club. And then I came to study at university here in Potchefstroom. And I stopped for a few years, but I always wanted to get my pigeons back. Started racing here locally in Potchefstroom 2013. In 2013, and started competing here at club level and union level. We are the WP Union, and I've been doing well, racing on and off. Because of the nature of my work, I'm going around, traveling a lot. But I've done well in certain seasons. My best results here locally was 4th overall in our union, and I also won the long distance points. So those were my best results in the years that I've been racing. One loft races, I started with the last $1 million pigeon race, and I entered 4 birds, and I was so privileged to have 4 of them in the final race, surviving all the hot spots and being in the final. And then on the final, the 3-bird challenge, I got 4th position in the 3-bird challenge in the last $1 million pigeon race. And that got me going, thinking I must enter into more one loft races. And then I entered Vic Falls 3 times. I think for results in one loft races, you do need the right pigeons for the right type of race. I do believe each race is different. The circumstances are different. The training is different. There's good pigeons that can do all the races, but you need those specific pigeons for specific races. If you find them and they do well, keep with that line, because they'll keep on doing well, like I've seen in the past 3 years. And also I believe that's what's really important is health for your pigeons. Yeah, just to keep them healthy. The breeders must be healthy, and the young ones must be strong. When you send them, don't send them when they're old, but don't send them when they're too young as well. Just let them be strong enough to be at a place where they're not so, that they don't easily get sick. Maybe 10 to 11 weeks old. That's when I send them. There's others that send them earlier and others that send them later, but I'll normally send them at 10 to 11 weeks. The advantage of one loft racing for me is that you are able to test your birds against the best pigeons in the world, especially international one loft races like Victoria Falls or Africa Pro. You can test your birds against some of the best pigeons in the world, and they all get the same treatment, the same feeding, the same training. So it's really about the genetics of the bird and how good your pigeons really are. In club racing, it's really also something that I enjoy to do. It's different. I don't want to break down the one for the other. I believe both have a role to play, and both are exciting. But I do like one loft racing for that reason, that all the birds get the same treatment, the same race to the same loft, same circumstances, and you can really see which birds are the best. So the way I go about my breeding is very simple. I've been racing locally and I do test all my birds. So I'm breeding out of my best racers. I'm breeding out of the best racers I have. So each year I put the best with the best. I do select a little bit on how they are built and how they are shaped and all of that, but I do try and put my best racers together. And that was the success that I had, was really just by putting the best birds that I have in my loft together, and I bred that Super Race winner in 2022. So that's my strategy, no other strategy. I try and keep with that line now because of the success that I had. I'm trying to keep with the line of the Super Race winner and breed as many as possible of them and then cross them with birds that are really good. So recently I bought some birds as well, maybe just 3 in total that I bought specifically. One was a union winner in a small town where someone raced, but because of the club and the level of racing they have there, I bought that bird. And then the other one I bought from Jan Hoijmans because of his pedigree that was raced in the Africa Pro race. I just loved all the lines that are there, real good one loft lines. The father of the bird that I have was Knockout Victor. That bird came fourth in the Super Race competition in Victoria Falls, and I think it came 8th in the final. I'm not sure exactly about the detail of that, but I bought that daughter of that bird to put with my lines and to cross and to see what will come out of it. So I buy because of the lines, but I also just buy birds that really race well. I don't really care all that much how they were bred. If they do race well, I will bring them in, even if it's a no-name pigeon. And this is the mother of the Super Race winner, Love 3, of the 2022 Victoria Falls season. And so this is the mother of the bird. This bird is also a top racer. She won our union on points, the year-old bird with the most points. And as I raced her for about 10 races, I just took her out after 10 races on the trot. And she was way ahead on points. This is 2269, the father of the Super Race winner, Love 3. This bird was my second best bird in the year 2017. And so the only bird that was better was the grandfather on the mother's side of the Super Race winner. So the two of them raced together. Okay, this is 2443. This is the grandfather of Love 3, the Super Race winner. This pigeon was probably the best bird that I've ever raced. As a year-old, he won the points in the union so far, like he was ahead by 200 points. And I took him out early. So he raced about 10 races, and then I took him out. So he was far ahead in points as a year-old. And I decided to race him another year. And the next year, he won the points in the open section as well. Also in the union and club level, and in the union, Potchefstroom, Klerksdorp, the union that we are in, WPU. When it comes to training and feeding, I think I've heard people say there's 101 ways. You know, there's different ways that people really become successful in that. But for me, in training, I do well in the long distance racing. So I do feed my pigeons well. They train hard. They race week after week. So, and it's also connected to my breeding strategy because I breed with those pigeons that race week after week. So they'll race Saturday, the next Saturday, the next Saturday, the next Saturday. Some of them up to 14, 15 times a season. Not every pigeon can do that. Some of them after 12 races, if they did really well, I take them out. But they will race about 1 to 12 races every week in a row in our club. And that's my strategy. And I've done well, especially in middle and long distance. I've done well. The shorter races, I still need to learn a lot, I think. Because the birds need to be very light to compete, and there's some things that we all need to learn. So, but long distance, I can say I feed them well, and they race week after week. And even those that raced from the beginning are the ones that win the long distance races for me in our union. If you want to start in pigeon racing, I would say to get advice from the best racers in your vicinity, and just to go to those people. Or you can go to another club, Because sometimes, you know, people in their own club, maybe they don't always want to share their secrets. So you go to another champion in another union, and you go and speak to those people and let them just give you all the advice and follow the advice, and that you can start on that note. But also, I want to say, get good pigeons. Get good pigeons from people that, you know, wherever you are, try and get the best birds. I was very fortunate in the way that my birds came about. You know, I bought here and there, but most of it I got through tasting them and then putting the best with the best. So yeah, you can get there by just putting the best with the best, but it helps if you start off with good pigeons already. So you have to spend some money as well. That I'm starting to realize now. So that you do have to spend some money on pigeons to lift the level of your birds. So yeah, just get good pigeons and get good advice, and you'll be fine.